Are you ready to get an embossed look without actually embossing anything? Instead of using an embossing folder, today we're going to be using dies. Yes, we're going to be creating a die cut faux embossed background, and it's going to be a little bit of a labor of love because I decided I wanted to use this big hugs sentiment. Now this is a really sweet font and it does cut out every letter individually. So to be able to align them correctly, I thought I would make my own template. So I lined up the two words and die cut them out of some white cardstock, and this is going to be how I can inlay the words, the letters, to make these words without making it too much of a headache, because yes, there is just a little bit of adhering to be done here, but it's not hard to do. Now obviously this look can be recreated with whatever dies that you have, and if you have something like a cover plate die, then it would be much easier than adding each single die cut to the background. But while I've got you here, I thought I might as well walk you through a few tips. So if you do want to recreate a die cut faux background, then you'll know what to look for. Tip number 1, use the same colored background as your die cuts. So this is going to make it look like it's just one piece of cardstock, and that the impression, like that would have normally been caused by an embossing folder, is actually embossed with a die. It gives that look of embossing without having embossing folder. So imagine the possibilities here. Pretty much any dies that you have can be used in this way. So, and it doesn't have to be a sentiment like I've used here. You can also use graphic designs, even image shapes. I've done this quite a bit in the past using leaves and even one layer florals. They work really well. And my next tip is to make sure that when you're adhering them, that some of the images go off the edge. This is going to make it look more like it was meant to be, like it's a design folder. Unless, of course, you've got a specific cover plate die that you've used that may have a border and a pattern on the inside. There's some beautiful florals that you can get like that. And if you have that, then it's still, if it's the same color, then it's going to look like the same piece of cardstock. They also need to be adhered directly to the cardstock. You can't be using dimension, extra dimension. I know this is adding some dimension by having that second piece of cardstock on top, but you don't want to be adding things like foam tape behind them. I mean, that's a totally different look. You're not going to get that faux embossed look if you add more depth with foam tape and have like a gap between them. So using the same colored cardstock, you could always add a little bit of shading if you want, like you would if you were coming in and adding some coloring to an embossed, like an embossing folder background. But to me, it's really that tone on tone look that gives it that fake embossed look. Now I like to use a liquid glue because it's very forgiving and you can shift your elements or your die cut images, words, letters, whatever you're using. It just gives you that little bit of wriggle room to make sure that everything's going to line up how you want it to. Obviously, if you're using something that's a little bit more organic, like a leaf or twigs, or something that it really doesn't matter where it sits, you probably wouldn't need to worry too much. But when it comes to lining up something here where I'm creating a pattern, I do want it to be fairly regular. Now I know my angle is off a little bit here. I was using the piece of cardstock that I made the template out of. I was using that to line up and work out exactly where to put the next sentiment so that it wasn't going to overlap, because I do have letters here that drop down like the G's and pop up like the I, the B and the H. So I don't want those to be overlapping on the next line of words. But you'll see in a minute when I make this into a card, it doesn't matter that it's not perfect. You're not going to notice because a lot of that area is kind of covered. Well, it's sort of covered. It'll be see-through covered. You'll see what I mean in a minute. What I also like to do is flip the panel over and just cut away those excess bits. I do like to wait for it to dry before I do that because I don't want these letters to shift as I'm cutting them, and if the glue was still wet they would, and it doesn't take too long for this particular glue to dry. But if I flip the panel and cut some pieces away halfway, then I've actually got little bits of leftover letters that I can use to build the rest of the panel without having to use up the whole die cut image. It's a great little cheaty way. How cool is this panel? I think it looks really sweet. These big letters just make my heart happy. And what makes these dies, or this particular set of dies, even more exciting is that they were created by a friend of mine, Carly T, and it's her first collection and it is so sweet. Pardon the pun, but head through the description below and check out the whole release. It is so cute. I've got more cards coming soon, sharing some more inspiration, so keep an eye out for those as well. And if you're not here for the shaker portion of this card, then avert your eyes right now. I just had to make a shaker in honor of Carly, and this penny candy jar is so sweet. It has divisions in it, like cuts through it, so it comes with a scoop and some sweets or candy that you can put in it as well. So you could use the scoop and put it inside the lid. You can remove the inside of the lid. You can add the lid. You can just die cut the outside and make it into a shaker. Or you can just add it directly to a card front. I double shakered this. Actually, I triple shakered this. Well, no, it's only one shaker portion, but I double raised it. I don't know. Anyway, so what I did was add the acetate to the front or behind the die cut and then put my shaker elements in. This is like a double width foam tape here because I always like to have a little bit of extra shaky room when it comes to shaker cards. And I added a second layer of acetate. So this makes this like a free floating shaker element. But I didn't leave it at that. I actually added another layer of foam tape behind this to pop it up off the front of the card base. But this is just a normal, regular, I think it's 2mm width of foam tape. So this whole shaker element sits off the card almost twice. And these little sweets are so much fun. There's a few different shapes. There's lemons and things. I think this is like honestly the sweetest release. And if you check it out, you'll know what I mean. When it came to the sentiment, I already kind of had a hidden sentiment in the background, but I thought that this sentiment that I added to the front, like the no words just, could be just used on its own as well. And I thought this would make a really good get well card or thinking of you card if you were giving someone some, like a box of chocolates or sweets. In fact, I might go and have some right now. Let me know in the comments below, are you going to try this die cut faux embossing technique? And if you are, I'd love to see what you make. If you did like today's video, please click on the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's totally free. I look forward to seeing you back here real soon. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.